Hello everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is Sew Me Sarah and I'm Sarah, and you are very welcome to join us today. Those of you who are new, welcome, because I know there are lots of you. You've been leaving me comments to say you've just found me, so I'm very happy that the algorithm worked for me and for you. I hope that you enjoyed enough to stay and be part of the community here. For those of you who continue to visit me week after week or video after video, thank you so much for being returning and faithful viewers. Now this is a channel all about cross stitch. Today is Sunday the 30th of June 2024 and it's almost July. June has been busting my chops, I'm telling you. It's just been, yeah, full on. So maybe July will be a little bit kinder, but it's not been a bad June. It's just been a very busy June. We had quite an emotional week last week. It was Charlotte's last week at her primary school. So next year, Charlotte is having a change of school placement just to give her some more supported learning environment than is currently possible in the mainstream primary school. So she's going to go to a new primary school, and this week was all about having a good ending at her existing primary school. So I want to say that the school were absolutely fabulous at helping with that. We were able to share the news with Charlotte because we didn't actually have any official word of her change of placement until Thursday, and school ended on Friday. But the principal of the new school did phone me the week before, and he gave me a little heads up to say that everything had cleared at his end and that he would be accepting Charlotte. So that meant that last weekend we were able to tell her that she was changing school. How much of that she understands, we're not exactly sure. We know that she doesn't understand all of it. She won't understand the why, but just getting her to understand that she's going somewhere new will be a challenge. And I think she may actually have got that bit, but hasn't associated the fact that going somewhere new means leaving somewhere old. So anyway, we did the best that we could this week, and school did a really lovely job giving her a really great final week. Her classmates made her cards. I sat here on Wednesday afternoon with 29 cards into which a bunch of 8-year-olds had poured out their feelings for Charlotte. And they said the nicest things, the sweetest things, such earnest little hearts. And I just wept over these cards. So Charlotte hasn't seen all of them yet because she doesn't process things that way, but she will read them over the summer. I mean, these cards were works of art. Some of them were posters, some of them were made into handbag type shapes, some of them were made into comic strips. They were amazing, absolutely amazing. Her friends really were so creative and so heartfelt in their sentiments for Charlotte. So that was really lovely. And then I'll insert a little video here. It's just 30 seconds long. Of course, skip ahead if it's not of interest to you, but I thought some of you might like to see that just at the end of the day on Friday, at the end of school, they had a little guard of honor for Charlotte just to say goodbye as she left. Yeah, all in all, it was a really good finish. Many years ago, a really good friend of mine said it was important to have good endings to things. And I've really held that for all these years. I remember that she said that, and she's right. It's really nice when you can make a good ending. Because, you know, things do come to an end in our lives. We go through stages, and if you can make an ending like leaving a job or leaving school, you know, moving on to a new home, a new area, whatever it is, if you can make the leaving good, then you have fewer regrets. So I'm really pleased that school and school, and us were able to help Charlotte along and have a really good ending to her time at that primary school. I want to show you a little piece of needlework that I uncovered. I mentioned in the last video that my son is sort of officially leaving home now. He's got a big grown-up job and he's graduating this week, and he's really not going to be coming home so much to his room, so I have commandeered the space that's up there, and I wanted to rearrange and put my cross-stitching things into bookcases and space that his room has. And while I was doing that, I was emptying a box that's been kind of hidden in a corner for a long time, and I found a piece of needlepoint stitching, and this is it. This is probably about 20 years ago that I stitched this. It was a kit, I remember that. I have no idea what it was, but I remember loving every stitch of it. And it wasn't difficult, it was something new to me at the time, and I really loved it. So it was fun to find it again. I know that it went in the box because I never quite knew what to do with it. I never knew whether I wanted to make it into a cushion or whether I wanted to frame it, and I still don't. But I was happy to find it, and I thought I would share it with you as proof that occasionally I do something other than cross stitch, even if it was 20 years ago. So that was a fun little find. Thank you all for your interest in the giveaways on the last video. So I have 2 winners to declare this morning, and the first of those giveaways is from Stephanie at Cross Stitch the Globe. And Stephanie had designed a booklet of patterns that are the Games of Thrones locations. If you recall, we had, I showed you patterns of Dunluce Castle, and the booklet contains on some of the Azure Window and some Iceland locations and other locations too, all related to Game of Thrones. So this booklet is called Cross Stitch of Ice and Fire, and the winner is Alison Banerjee, HT100. So that is your name as you comment on YouTube, Alison. So please get in touch with me and let me know that you have heard about this, and then I will let you know how you can get hold of the PDF. Congratulations, Alison. The next giveaway was for the Happy Halloween sampler and for the Sal and gift box from the Historical Sampler Company. And Historical Sampler Company have very kindly sent me the kit and the gift box to send on to you. So it arrived this week. You may have seen unboxings on other videos because I think everyone's has arrived at the same time. And so I wanted to share this with you so that you can see what the gift box looks like as an example of the kinds of gift boxes that Historical Sampler Company do. Unfortunately, this one has already sold out. It was so popular that the gift box has already sold out, but the kit for the Sal hasn't. So the stitch along kits are still available in Ada or linen, and you can pop on to their website to pick one of those up for yourself in advance of the start of the Sal on the 8th of July. I also noticed that some of the individual products from the gift box are still available on the site, so you can buy them individually if anything in the box takes your fancy, given that you can't get a full kit. But this is to show you the quality and the type of kit that Historical Sampler Company put together. I have always been a fan of their boxes and kits, their monthly subscription boxes too. And this one is no different. So I've tried to be as careful as possible opening it because I know it's not remaining with me. And I have to post it on to the lucky winner. Before I announce who that is, I will just show you the beautiful box, and then this is the gift box, and inside it's wrapped this beautiful like wax self-sticking paper. It's hard to get off with just one hand. And then inside you will find the Sal kit and then the goodies from the box. So I will put this down so that I can show you a little bit better what is in here. So first of all, if you order the SAL kit, you will get an envelope like this. It's fun. And inside will be the physical materials that you need for the SAL. So you will have a piece of fabric. Now this kit that they've sent me is the Ada. So it's a lovely, I would say mocha or mushroom type color. It is Sweetheart Ada, nice quality. It also comes in linen, so you can make that choice if you're ordering one for yourself. But the kit that they've sent me for the giveaway is the Ada. And then perfect Halloween colors. And they're already sorted. So I love these little cards that they have, and they have pre-sorted the threads all for you. I'm not going to disturb them any further. I'm going to put this back into the box, into the envelope, so that you get it as fresh as possible. The person who has won. Tucked inside here, there's usually a needle. There is, I can see the little stripy package of it. So you have your needle and your thread and your fabric. Now the only thing missing, of course, are the patterns, but those will be sent to you by PDF on the releases. So the first release is the 8th of July, and thereafter there will be 3 other releases, and those will be fortnightly after that. So that is the kit for the stitch along. Now, if you ordered the gift box, this is what came with the additional gift box. So there are all sorts of goodies in here, and I'm going to show them to you. So first of all, we have a little ghost needle minder, and he's just fallen off this little card. There we go. He's a little ghost with a pumpkin. Beautiful little metal needle minder. We have got some floss drops, and these are wooden floss drops. We have 2 bats, lovely purple bats, 2 spiders, and 2 pumpkins. So those are lovely festive, Halloween festive floss drops. There is a beautiful pair of scissors, and I happen to know these are available, so I might be placing an order. Beautiful pair of orange heart-handled scissors. I love these, really love these. If they're missing from your box, I promise it wasn't me. I promise I'm going to order my own pair. And then there is a bag of Halloween cookies. Now, I've had cookies before in some of the subscription boxes that Historical Sampler Company have sent out, and they're always really good, so I'm sure these are no different. There is a pink metallic thread. This is a Rico brand. So, lovely colour of pink. Sorry, there's a real shade on this side as I'm showing you today. Yeah, that's a bit better. And then inside there is also a little drawstring craft bag. I just want to stay home and craft. That's nice, a really nice size to be able to pop all your bits and pieces into and take along with you wherever you're going. And the last piece in here is a beautiful, and I do mean it's beautiful, wooden hoop. And this is actually a Nerge hoop. I didn't know that Nerge did wooden hoops until I saw this box advertised. But this is a wooden Nerge hoop. I would say it's about 8 inches probably. It's the Nerge number 4, whatever their sizing is for that. And look how thick it is. It's beautiful. Now, if you don't stitch in a hoop, you might like to use this one as a hoop for display because it is really lovely quality. So that is all of the goodies that you get in the Historical Sampler Company's Halloween box. I think it's absolutely fabulous, and I think it's such a wonderful, wonderful gift to be able to send you. So thank you so much, Historical Sampler Company, Joanna and Suzanne, for providing this for me to share with my viewers. I'm sure that someone is going to be very happy when I post this on to them. And so who will that someone be? Well, the random comment picker chose Abby in Stitches. So Abby, I'm so pleased to be able to send this to you. If you want to give me your details, I will forward that to you as soon as I can. Just a little word of warning. I am away at the beginning of this week. I'm heading over to my son's graduation, so physical mailing probably won't happen until the end of the week, Friday or Saturday of next week. I'm sorry that means there'll be a little bit of a delay, but hopefully we'll get it to you very soon after the beginning of the sale itself. So those were fun sales to have, and I'm very grateful to anyone who offers gifts to the viewers here on Sew Me Sarah. It's a really nice way to introduce viewers to new products, to new designers, and to share the fun around the cross stitch world. So thank you so much to Stephanie at Cross Stitch the Globe and to Historical Sampler Company. Okay, let's talk some stitching. I have a fully finished piece to share with you, but I don't have the end product in my possession anymore. It was sent across the Atlantic as a gift, and so I just have a photo to share with you today. This is Far Better Things. It is a design that was released this year's market by Sweet Wing Studio, and it is a quote attributable to C.S. Lewis. So I stitched this piece for Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails. She intends to have a storybook fiction wall at some point, and I thought that perhaps she would like this quote from C.S. Lewis to add to her fiction wall. So the stitch itself was really lovely to do. I absolutely loved stitching that gas lantern. It was beautiful. I love the font on the quote, and the rest of it took me a lot longer than I thought it would, to be honest. So there was a lot of stitching in the wall. There was a lot of counting. There was a lot of little stitches to make up those beautiful trailing vines up the sides of that arbor, but it was all worth it in the end. As you can see, I have mounted it in a frame, but what I did was I did this as a finish in a very similar way to the way that I finished the La Finestra del Tempo pieces. So if you've been here for a while, you'll know that maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did I stitched all the monthly pieces for La Finestra del Tempo from Crochet A Go-Go, and I mounted them so that they could sit on an easel. The stitched piece is laced, and then that laced piece is stuck onto another fabric mount. So that was the style of this finish too. I chose a Laurie Holt fabric in blue and green to bring out the blues and greens in the stitch piece itself, and I was really happy with the way that worked. And then I just popped it all on top of the glass of the frame that I purchased. So it actually squeezes in, it's quite tight, so it squeezes in, and I didn't have to stick it down or anything, and it doesn't fall out. So I kind of got lucky there. I thought I was going to stick it on, but it doesn't have to be, because I got the measurements really, really nice so that there's a nice tight fit. It can be prized out of there if Kathleen would prefer to frame it some other way or rest it on an easel or something like that. But I really like this kind of finish. I think I like it because it satisfies the quilter in me, using the coordinating fabric and everything. So this was a really lovely stitch to do for Kathleen, and it was a really fun stitch to finish. So I wasn't able to show you at the time because she hadn't received it, but she has now. There are no finishes to share with you this time, not surprisingly, given the mayhem that this month has been. And in all honesty, there's not a massive amount of progress on the stitches I am going to share with you. So one of them maybe, but the rest of them just little bits here and there. It's not the end of the world. We all know that our stitching helps to regulate us. And when you don't get to stitch just as much, then, you can feel a little bit out of sorts. So I'm looking forward to July being a reset period, let's say. But anyway, let me show you the whips that I touched in June. So first of all, I have a little bit more progress on Rejoice Evermore. This is the Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread chart. I think a couple of market releases ago, a couple of years ago. Beautiful, beautiful chart. And I am stitching this with my lovely friend Joanita from Stitchy Things. And Joanita finished quite some time ago. I'm still catching up. So I have moved this to be my daily thread stitch, and that hasn't meant huge amounts of progress, but I am making some progress. So you can see across here I have some of these flowers in the border. I'll come a little bit closer. Started, they're not completed, but they are started. And this section here is complete. Now I think the flower was half done. I don't think these leaves or these sort of bell flowers were in last time. So I managed to get all of that done with my daily thread. And I love this piece so much. I don't want to ruin it. I want to be really careful with it and enjoy it as I stitch. So I also want it finished tomorrow, but you know, you can't have everything, can you? So that is my progress on Rejoice Evermore. Then I picked up the Peacock Tree, which is a modern folk embroidery piece, which I started maybe in May, I think. March, maybe March. Gosh, that's longer ago than I realized. I think it was March actually, because it was for Carmen's Sal, the Jacob Sleeper Sal. This was my choice. And I did start it in March, but of course I had a restart. So my original piece has gone across the Atlantic to be finished elsewhere by the lovely Cappy. And I restarted in a different color. So I made a little bit of progress on this the night that I picked it up. I finished the first Peacock and I'm so happy with the colors on this. So I love this stitch. I picked it up. I thought I might get a few nights at it, but then I realized that I was staring down the face of a lot of Sal releases. So there were a number of Sal releases in the last couple of weeks, and I didn't get quite as far as I thought I might with Peacock Tree, but I love it nonetheless. So a little bit of progress on that one. One of the Sal releases was Caterpillar Cross Stitch North American Sal, and that was the second part of their Sal that is ongoing. And here is my progress. Now I'm going to do my best to remember all of these things, but some of them I will not. I apologize in advance. So the additions on part 2 were Red Rocks Park, where I believe lots of musical events occur. I think it's a natural amphitheater, if I'm correct. This is the Devil's Rock in Wyoming. We have a clapperboard for Hollywood. We have the Grand Canyon. We have a hot air balloon, and that is for an international air balloon festival that happens in Albuquerque, according to the information from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. We then have some New Mexico and Mexican motifs, sorry. We have a chili for the hot and spicy food. This guitar-like instrument, I think is a hivuela, but please forgive me if I'm wrong. We have the prickly pear cactus. Fun fact, when I was 9 years old, when I was 9 years old, we had our first time at school that we had to do a presentation for anything ourselves. We had to do a project and we had to then stand at the front of the class and make a presentation on it. And of course it was old school. There were no computers, no screens, you know, we used a poster board. But my family had just had a subscription, just started a subscription to the World Book Encyclopedias. I don't know how many of you remember those. They were American, so perhaps more of you remember them than I might think. But my family had a subscription to that, and I decided that I would do my school project presentation on something from the encyclopedias. And because it was a subscription, we didn't have the whole set of encyclopedias, but we did have up to C, so I chose a cactus. And one of the reasons I chose the cactus was because my mum had some little cacti plants on her kitchen windowsill, and I thought, well, at least if I do this project on cacti, I can take in some sample cacti. Anyway, you know, I was 9, I didn't have a clue. So anyway, I did my project about the saguaro cactus. Anyway, that was a random side fact. This, I think, is a Metropolitan Cathedral. And then over here is something I cannot pronounce, and I'm so sorry. It is a Mayan place of worship, I think, or sacred site, a Mayan sacred site. So forgive me for not knowing the name or being able to pronounce it. And then we have a little sombrero. And I believe the sombrero was a dance, which I did not know before reading that. I thought it was just the hat, but it was a dance. So we have that. Then we also have some pecan pie from Texas. And what else have we got? We've got sea life. We've got the orca, a salmon, and the dolphin to represent some of the sea life here on the west coast. And the dolphin was, I think, representative of the Gulf of Mexico in here, but obviously didn't fit. So it's fun to see these places that I didn't know about and learn something new. And I do apologize for the ones that I didn't remember the names of or perhaps got wrong, so I apologize in advance. But that is the fun second part release of North American Adventure from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. The sale is ongoing and still available for you to purchase if you're interested. Okay. Then another sale from Historical Sampler Company is Do More of What Makes You Happy. And I love this piece, really love this piece. It is rolled on the scroll, so you can't quite see all my progress at the moment. Oh, I wanted to tell you something about the scroll frame. Give me 1 second and I will be back. Okay, hopefully that was almost unnoticeable. I went to get this, and I will tell you about this in just a second. So yes, this is Do More of What Makes You Happy. It is a 4-part sale from the Historical Sampler Company, and parts 3 and 4 are now out. I have just started part 3, so I have been desperately trying to catch up with this sale, but obviously it has beaten me. It is beautiful and I do want to finish it, I really, really do. So I'm going to give it a little bit more love, hopefully the end of next week, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, as I was saying, it's on the scroll frame so you can't really see it, but actually I thought there's no reason why I can't unscroll it and let you see the top. But what would stop me is that these wing nuts are tight and tighter than tight. Okay, so I can't get them off right now. But this is where my handy dandy doodad comes in. This is called a Twizzler. Can you see? And it costs about $4.99 on Amazon, and that's in pounds. And it is made by Elbacy, and Elbacy are the makers of these scroll frames that I use. These are easy clip scroll frames. Can you see in here? There's a clip, so you don't have to sew. You don't have to sew your piece to heading tapes or anything like that. You just there's a groove in the scroll rod itself. You pop your fabric over that and you press the clip on. But sometimes, as you know, if you've got a scroll frame with wing nuts, sometimes it's hard to get the wing nuts tightened just as much as you would really like to, and then they can work loose a little bit when you're working with them. So I saw this on Amazon. It was one of the sort of, recommended as you were buying this kind of things. You know, people often buy this plus this plus this, right? And so this was there, and I thought, well, it might be worth a try for £5, for £4 or £5. And it really was. So I wanted to tell you about Twizzler today. So if you have a scroll frame, probably, I would say, probably any of the scroll frames that have wing nut closures, this would probably fit. It works really, really well. You simply just pop it over. Yeah, we all know how good I am at demonstrating things. Okay, let me try. You just simply pop it over your wing nut and turn. Now, I would not be able to do that with my bare hands when it was as tight as it was. So here, this one is tight. I can't move it at all. But with really next to no effort, the Twizzler makes that possible. And it's the same, obviously, for retightening. So I would recommend this little gadget if you haven't got one and you do have these kinds of scroll frames with wing nuts. So it does mean that actually I can show you the progress. So here you go. Here is Do More of What Makes You Happy. So it is beautiful. I haven't added any of the back stitching yet, and that is really going to bring it to life. That is going to show you that this one is a ball of yarn, this one is a cross stitch project hoop, so there'll be a cross stitch design on there, and then it really just brings the whole thing to life to put the back stitching on, but I have decided to just leave the back stitching to the end. So yes, I do have still quite a bit to go on this. I really wanted to be able to show you it finished. I wanted to keep up, but I just haven't managed that. So anyway, such is life. I am going to retighten these. It really, I mean, it's amazing because it's really sore on your hands to tighten those wing nuts. So I really do think a lot of this little gadget. Please don't laugh at my screwed up face or whatever faces I'm pulling as I'm doing this. I will fix it properly again later, but I haven't quite got this bit as tight as I wanted it to be, but anyway. But once you have it tight, this makes it so much easier to keep it tight. So it's called Twizzler, an Elbacy Twizzler. Okay, that is all the progress on whips that I have. Next, we have some starts. So Sally and I are well into our 30 starts. If only I was just 30. Sally and I are well into our 50 starts. We are in around 30, that's where I was getting confused. So I think Sally has maybe crossed the 30 line. I'm on 28, so I'm getting there, I'm getting there. This week I hope to hit 30. So this is my start number 27, and it is a bothy thread kit called Humming Along. So Sally is at FlossySewsandGrows, and Sally and I are doing 50 starts because this is our 50th year. So we have big birthdays this year, and as stitchers we wanted to do something to celebrate in stitching. So start number 27 for me is Humming Along by Bothy Threads. This is a fabulously coloured chart. Fabulously coloured. Here is my little hummingbird start. That is just 2 nights of a start, so I'm really pleased with that. It is pretty much finished right up to here. That is all stitched in. Obviously there's a lot more stitching in here and just the long beak, and then there's quite a long wing to finish up that side there. I hope you could see that. But the colours are absolutely phenomenal. I'm looking forward to putting in that kind of pinky red throat that this hummingbird has. This one kit comes in Ada, but I managed to get an even weave option, which I was really pleased about. I didn't realise Bothy did even weave kits, and you can see that the fabric is a speckled fabric. So that's really pretty too. So So I'm very happy with that little bright little start. So Humming Along meets one of the prompts from our viewers that we have for these 50 starts. And this prompt comes from Susan Bailey, and Susan suggested that we start something by Bothy Threads. So perfect. So thank you for that suggestion, Susan. Start number 28 for me is one that Sally and I are doing together. It is Light by Barbara Anna. It is a free pattern, and lots of you are stitching along with us for this one, so that's really exciting. It has been very popular. So we have Ruth from Country Gal 854 stitching with us. Rachel from Stitchy Rach is going to start. Terry at Button Up I'm Stitching. Sharon, a viewer from Australia, might do it. Natalie from Sew Stitch Sew Nat. Keely from Cakes and Stitches, Terry Askham, another viewer, Kitmar 1667, a viewer, Amy Waters, a viewer, Michelle from Mama Loves You GB, Sue Radford, who's a viewer and frequent commenter, Alice from Honeybee Stitcher, Alice couldn't wait and already started, Mary Ann Johnson is stitching with us, Kirsty.Diamond Stitcher, Cross Stitch Amy X, Emma S Stitches, West Linda 31 and Alison Caron. So all of you folks are stitching along with us. There may be others, and I'm sorry if I have missed you. Do let me know if I haven't mentioned you. Do let me know if you're stitching along to Light. Light is, as I said, a free pattern. You can access it by going to Barbara Anna's Instagram channel. Once you're there, go to her profile and she has a link tree. In the link tree, she has got links to quite a number of things, but this free pattern is one of them. There are a couple of other free patterns there too. So if you're interested, you can go there and find it. But this was started on Wednesday night. I almost missed it. I knew all week that I was starting, and this Sally had chosen the date of the 26th and we were going to start it together. But for some reason in my head, Thursday was the 26th. So I was merrily stitching on Do More of What Makes You Happy on Wednesday evening, early evening. And I saw lots of starts popping up on Instagram of other folks who'd started Light. And the first one I saw, I thought, oh, that's really nice. Because we're not dead set on the days for you to have to join us. You could, any time of this year, join us for any one of our projects, no problem at all. So the first one I thought, wasn't that nice? Somebody was really keen and they got started early. And then there was another one, and then there was another one. And then I had that light bulb moment that the 26th was today, which was Wednesday, and not tomorrow as I had thought. So I was like scrambling to put away Do More of What Makes You Happy and get out all the things for Light. So it's a good job I was already kitted up. That made it pretty easy to get started. But here are my couple of nights of progress on Light. Now this is actually 3 nights of progress because I was so loving this project. I didn't want to put it away. So I did an extra night's start on it. Now at first I wasn't sure if I'd made the right choices for floss and fabric. This is a 36 count platinum by Swigart, and the flosses are as called for. This morning I've just watched Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, and saw her start, and she was talking about how when she started with her flosses, she actually did a restart, but when she started with her flosses, because she was only stitching with 1 strand of floss, the colour was coming out much more pale, much less dense than the colours look when they're on floss drops or on your bobbin or just in the skein. I encountered exactly the same problem, and I thought it was going to be a big problem for these stars. You can actually tell on screen that those are 2 different colours. Over here, where the star meets the fabric, it's a little bit harder because one of those, which shows up really well as 6 strands across the fabric, really is much lighter in single strand, and I wasn't sure if I should go on, but when you have, you know, another 22 starts ahead of you in the year, you kind of think, yeah, I'm just going to go on. And I'm glad I did, because it has worked out. I did think if it really wasn't showing up, then I would make some swaps, or I would consider then going back and stitching it over with 2 strands. But I really wanted to just stitch it with 1 strand. You can see that the coverage in the dress is a little bit more prim. It actually looks slightly better on camera than it does in real life. It's a little bit more sparse. Sparse is not quite right, it's just a little bit less dense than it would be with 2 threads. So it is throwing a different shade of colour to that, but actually I really do like it now, and I'm glad that I just ploughed on. Brute force and ignorance, as my mother used to say. It would be my mum's birthday today, and I miss her very much. But yeah, she used to say, brute force and ignorance, just keep going. So I did, I loved this, and I'm loving watching all of you start, because it's so lovely when you see people. One of the things I love is to see people starting in different places. So some people started, you know, with the vines, the arbor vine. Some people started with the face, you know, some people have started down here. I just really enjoy seeing all the different starts, because then you get to see what's coming your way wherever you have started. So, but I really wanted to tackle that dress, so I had a lot of fun with that. So I know that I want to just keep stitching on this. I just don't know how much time I'm going to have with all of the other starts, but if I can get back to this in the next few weeks, then I will. We'll see. So those, as I said, oh, I forgot to tell you the prompts, sorry. The prompts that were met by Stitching Light, there were 2 prompts, but from 3 viewers. So first of all, Joanita suggested that we start something by Barbara Anna. So that's Joanita from Stitchy Things. She said, start something by Barbara Anna. And Marianne Johnson and Fiona Lawrence, they said that we should start something by a designer you've never stitched before, or a designer that is new to you. And so I have never stitched a Barbara Anna before. So this was my very first Barbara Anna. Definitely not going to be my last. You'll know if you watched the last video, I have more plans for Barbara Anna. But this was my first attempt at a Barbara Anna, and I love it. So those were the prompts that were provided that this stitch meets for me. So thank you so much, ladies, for your suggestions for our prompts for the year. So as I was saying, that is start number 27 and 28 for me. 29 will be tomorrow, and that is going to be a little stitch. It is Adore Him by Plum Street Samplers. I'm showing it back here. It's a freebie, so I will link it. You can go and get it, download it for yourself. It's going to be some kind of little Christmas pillow or ornament. I am looking forward to starting that. I'm heading away to my son's graduation, so I thought that would be a nice one to take with me when I'm traveling. Nothing too serious or difficult without good light while I'm traveling. I am going to try to sneak in an extra stitch that I had not planned. Now, there's a story to this. I thought it was a simple story, but it's a little more complicated. Michelle at Mama Loves You GB, tomorrow, being the 1st of July, she is starting a Stitch Strawberries for Wimbledon sale. And that is going to be for the first 2 weeks of July, for the duration of Wimbledon, the tennis championship. And Wimbledon means strawberries. So she is going to stitch strawberries. Now, the reason this is not a straightforward story is that I have misunderstood the sal. But yeah, I'm just going to barge on anyway. So Michelle, I'm sorry, I'm not quite joining your strawberries sal, because Michelle's sal is to stitch designs that will be finished as strawberries, not necessarily just a strawberry pattern. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, I completely missed that. and I just thought it meant a strawberry pattern. So I decided that I want to stitch Yaz's Strawberry Seasons. This is from Yasmin's Made with Love. Another designer that I have a number of charts from, but have not yet stitched. So I really want to stitch this one. This is Strawberry Season. And yeah, it's not going to be finished as a strawberry, it's just a strawberry chart. So it doesn't quite meet Michelle Sal, but I'm with you in spirit. I'm with you in spirit, Michelle, okay? I'm so sorry that I misunderstood. But anyway, never mind, I am going to sneak in this start anyway. So it wasn't originally planned, but I'm going to sneak this one in towards the end of next week. And then my other new start that should happen before I see you again will be Silver Creek Samplers My Christmas List. So that one is planned for the 8th of July, and I would hope to be back with you around the 14th. So those should be all of my new starts between now and then. All things going to plan, of course. Let me just check here that I'm telling you everything I should be. My other plans then will be to catch up on my sals. I really would like to be able to reset the balance here a little bit in the next few weeks. It might take all of July before that actually happens, but it has felt a little bit, well, I get to feeling a little bit overwhelmed when I'm not keeping up with things. That includes my laundry, my housework, my admin, not just stitching. So hopefully July will give us a little bit of time to reset all of that. And then I will be able to get back to continuing to stitch, not just start, but actually continuing some of the stitches. There have been a lot of SAL releases recently, and they just happen to all kind of coincide, and I just want to keep up and catch up with those before we go too much further. I also want to catch up with Mrs. Parkman's ABC, the Mrs. Parkman's Academy of Needlework, her online course. I was really enjoying that. I did the first 3 weeks. I think I've missed 2 weeks now, last week and then yesterday's. I watched yesterday's, but I didn't actually do the stitches for yesterday. So I want to catch up with that. It's a really brilliant online course. So I can't recommend that highly enough if you're interested at all. Go and watch those videos from Nicola Parkman. Beyond that, I don't know what I'm going to have time for. And as I say, I just want to kind of reset. I would love to keep a little bit of momentum on light because I really enjoyed it so much. And because it's really fun that so many of you are stitching along. So we'll see how all of that goes. Anyway, I have a little bit of haul to share with you. I don't very often share haul. I buy plenty of haul, but I don't have haul on a regular basis. But I do have a little bit this. I do have a little bit this week, and I've lost a box. Let me see. That just got lost on the other side of the table momentarily. So I have a little package here from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery. Rachel is a floss tuber, Talking Dog Stitcher, and she has very recently opened an online needlework store called Talking Dog Stitchery. So it was a real pleasure to be able to order from a new UK supplier of all things cross-stitch goodness. And I treated myself then to a couple of little supplies from Rachel's store. Now, she has been doing really great business, and there were quite a lot of things out of stock by the time that I went, but I do know that she is restocking frantically, and she has such a lovely selection. She also has a page or a place on her website where you can request things, and she will do her best to try and get those for you. So like with any new start shop, she doesn't have the full range that she probably intends to stock right now, but she is very willing to hear what it is we want as stitchers, we want her to have, and she will try her best to see if she can get that from her supplier. So if there's something that you haven't been able to get here in the UK, you could always ask Rachel. Anyway, my little parcel, which came in really super quick time and beautifully packaged in a little box, lovely little sticker and Rachel's card. And my package just had 3 little items in it, but I bought 2 charts and a floss. Now Rachel is going to stock Cottage Garden, or she is stocking Cottage Garden threads. These are beautiful threads. They're 10-meter skeins, is that right? Yes, 10-meter skeins. They're pre-cut into half-meter lengths already. This one is called Sea Change. It is a beautiful greeny blue, as you can see. I bought this with something in mind, and I'll tell you about that in a moment or two. But that is the Cottage Garden threads that I picked up. The charts that I picked up, one is Honey of a Tiny Town. I have 2 other Tiny Town charts. They don't all appeal to me, but this one does. But I always was reluctant to buy it, and I didn't quite know what was holding me back. And then I saw someone, and I'm so sorry, but I can't remember who, but someone had adapted the colours of the chart to match the Primrose Cottage Stitches B charts, and used the same threads that Primrose Cottage used. And so it brightens up those colours just a little bit. And I thought that was a fabulous idea. So I thought, well, I'll get that sometime. So that is what I chose from Rachel's site. And then the other one that I chose is a sampler called Americana Blue by October House Fibre Arts. Oh, there's not too much glare on that for you. So this is a blue stitchy sampler, basically. Ironically, I'm probably going to stitch this in red when I ever get around to it. But there is actually an Americana red pattern by October House as well. I just happened to prefer this pattern. I was only going to choose one of them. But if, I think there'd be a beautiful pair to stitch together. But I will probably stitch this one in red. So if that's not too perverse to buy Americana Blue and then stitch it in a different colour. Anyway, my chart, I can do what I like. Okay, back to the Cottage Garden threads and my choice of this colour. Now what I chose it for was the new release by Lauren at Flossabilities. And their new release is the Nautical Pillow. So you've seen that I bought several, well, I bought pretty much all of the other pillows that she has released. And she has covered the 4 seasons. So we've had spring, summer, autumn and winter. We've had Christmas, we've had Easter with 2 versions in the Easter chart. And now we have Nautical Pillow. So I love this, and I thought perhaps I would stitch it in with the Sea Change. Now I'm not sure. This particular skein of Sea Change is much more green than I was expecting. It's still really beautiful, really beautiful. I just don't know if I'll stitch this design in it. It would have been really good for the Peacock. And it still could be. It still could be the thread that I choose. But anyway, this Nautical Pillow is gorgeous. It has a little ship and some lighthouses and a scallop shell, some dolphins or whales I think. The ship's wheel, some waves, beautiful mermaid, anchors, and I love the octopus at the bottom. So that is Nautical Pillow by Lauren at Flossabilities. That's available now on her Etsy site. Also just to say that Lauren's charts up until now have been available only as PDF, but Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery has some of them in hard copy. So she has, I think you have 4 of the pillows at the moment in hard copy, and on her latest Flosstube, Lauren said that this one should be coming. So if you like a hard copy chart, you will be able to get this one also from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery, if you just give it a couple of weeks. And then I had one more purchase, and this is by Darlene Dion Designs. Darlene is a Canadian floss tuber and designer, and she brought out this in her Quaker range. This is called Stitch All the Things Quaker. Isn't it great? Such a lovely, lovely design. So I shimmed this one in a manner that would make Laura proud. And yeah, I hope to stitch this one soon, but I hope to stitch everything soon. Anyway, it's a lovely addition to my stash. So that is all of my haul, and plenty to be getting on with for now. I wanted to share with you a couple of ideas for getting connected in our community. So there are 2 ideas this time. The first one is Sarah's Stitchy Spot. So Sarah has a wonderful floss tube over at her channel, Sarah's Stitchy Spot. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, already know Sarah, but if you haven't watched her last episode, you might not know that she is planning to host some little Zoom meetups. And this is a way that Sarah wants to use to get to know people in the community a little bit better. She wants to keep it a small Zoom. She wants to have around about 10 folks per session, and maybe different folks each session. So it's not a case of, if I join the first Zoom, I'm necessarily going to be on every other Zoom thereafter. But it's a way of chatting to various people at various times. So it might be something that interests you to pop along and have a listen to Sarah and find out what she's saying about her Zoom sessions. I imagine there will be more information in forthcoming episodes, because she was just kind of floating the idea, but I think it's been very well received. And I think it's a great idea to spend a little bit of time in a smaller session, in a smaller capacity. As Sarah herself was saying, she probably isn't going to be a frequent retreat goer, and she just wants to touch base with people, get to know people, and this is the way that she thinks she might go about that. So please go and watch Sarah's channel, find out more information there, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because Sarah's fabulous and you need to watch her. The next Get Connected idea is one for the future, and it is for a stitch along that will be happening starting on the winter solstice, so 20th, 21st of December, whichever way you consider the solstice to fall. I always thought it was the 21st, but I see that's not necessarily the case. Anyhow, winter solstice this year, Jackie, who is the Jackie of Comfort Stitching, that wonderful, wonderful channel I was telling you about recently, and you must go and catch Jackie's Stitcher's Meditation that she posted last week. It's lovely to listen to relax to just breathe. So go watch that. But Jackie got in touch not long after I posted the information about Barbara Anna releasing some of her designs through her Ko-Fi shop. And one of the designs that I was waiting for was 4 Seasons. That's the 4 seasonal girls. I'll insert a picture here. The 4 seasonal girls. And I was waiting for that. It had previously only been available through Nitka Moscow as a kit, but is now available through the Ko-Fi shop. And Jackie got in touch to say she would love to stitch it, and would I like to do a stitch along with her. So I said yes, of course I would. Now I do have plans, as you know, for this year, but I am going to squeeze this one in, the 4 Seasons in with Jackie, because we're going to start on the winter solstice. So you have until December the 20th, 21st to get yourselves ready and join us if you would like to. It gives you time to get over all of your other plans like me and the 50 starts. So I'm hoping that one will be number 50. And then yes, just to get yourself organized and to stitch along with us. I think the plan is to stitch one lady per quarter and start it on the solstice or the equinox. So there will be more information about that as the time comes closer, but that is another way that you can connect with the community, join in with something that's going on, and I am really looking forward to that because I love that chart so much. So I'm really chuffed that Jackie asked me to join her, and I'm looking forward to seeing who else is going to stitch along with us when the time comes. So that's just one for your diary, a little bit ahead of time. I'm quite sure that we will be talking about it again before it actually starts. Before I go, I have one special thing to share with you. So this is enabling and not directly stitchy related. So, and I'm not being sponsored for this or anything. This is just genuinely a little company that I have come across. I was recommended by a friend, and I've tried them for myself a couple of times now, and I really think that they're worth knowing about. So this is a company called Tiliana, and Tiliana make tote bags. Let me show you the one that I have just bought for myself. So this is the market tote that they sell. And round about the end of May, they had a sale on. I'm subscribed to their newsletter, and they had a sale on their market tote bags, and they were reduced pretty much to half price. So this was £20. Normal retail, I think, is $39.95. Really heavy duty jute bag, waterproof lined. Can you hear how nice heavy quality that is? Lovely leather handles. And you can have it personalized. Now there are a number of fonts, there are a number of different positions, so you could put a couple of initials down here at the bottom corner. You just choose different styles of their bags, and then you can have different kinds of personalizations on them. I went for the full Sew Me Sarah treatment this time, just for a bit of fun, because it's going to hold all of my projects. This is a big tote, folks. This will hold, I don't know, this would probably hold all of my 16 whips that I normally would have on my Sweet 16 board. It would be a great retreat bag as well if you're, traveling in the car to retreat. Superb. I love the quality. I loved it. The bags come in two different sizes. There's this market tote. There's a slightly smaller one. I think it might be called Studio Tote. It's a very nice size. It's not too small, but it's just a really nice size. And most of the totes come in, they're either black or a natural jute color, or sometimes there's a nice grey shade as well. And as I say, there are different types of personalizations available. I just wanted to recommend it because, it's got lovely feet on the bottom too. It is a really good tote bag for hauling things about. And I thought I like a little personalization on things sometimes. So I've been really impressed with this company. And they are based in Wales. They're called Tiliana. And you can go and sign up to their newsletter on their website. They do very frequently have sales on. So this sale was for the end of May. Then things went off sale again, but they are currently back on sale at that reduced price for a summer sale. I've bought a couple for teachers' end of year gifts. I've bought a couple for other friends for their birthdays as well. So, and every time they come, they're really nicely done. So sometimes I think it's worth sharing a little bit of information about other, small businesses that are out there. And certainly as stitchers, we can fill those things with our projects, no problem. So I will put the link to the Tiliana website down below if that is something that is of interest to you at all. As I said, even for teachers' gifts for the end of term, then then please go and have a little look. And as I say, if it does interest you, it's worth being signed up to their newsletter, because you will find that they quite frequently have sales and it's good to know when they are on. So that is my one special thing for this week. That is really all the news for this episode. I hope to be back with you again in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I didn't realise that fortnight is not a universal term. So fortnight means 2 weeks. I will be back with you in 2 weeks' time, I hope, and I will hopefully have lots to share with you again, and I look forward to that very much. I hope you'll have a great couple of weeks. Enjoy whatever it is you're up to. Enjoy celebrations if you are in Canada and America this week for your national celebrations. And the rest of the world, just enjoy it being July. I will see you again soon, my friends, and until then, please stay well and stitch happy. Bye.